Hey guys, welcome back to day 19 of 25 Days of Christmas with TJ 2023. Continuing along with some diesels, but we're going to change it up and go back to the 80s. We're going to take a look at this pair of MTH Chessie GP40s that I picked up earlier this year. I saw on Facebook Marketplace that there was a guy that had some MTH engines at an antique mall. So decided I was like, hey, I'm coming back up to Columbia. I'll stop in. And believe it or not, I walked in and in this little glass display case, there was this pair of Chessie GP40s with a Chessie caboose and had a really, really reasonable price on them. And I was like, all right, I'm taking them with me and got them home. And they were brand new, never run. I don't even think they were ever really touched. Not a fingerprint, nothing. Everything was in the boxes. The boxes were pristine. I was like, wow, I did really good with this. The gentleman said that he had BCRs and everything. And I opened it up and it didn't have a BCR. And the gentleman was kind enough. He actually sent me a BCR for it. So that was really nice. Really stand-up guy and stood behind his stuff. But they run great. I had an idea of maybe selling them because they were 5-volt and I hadn't run them much. And I got them out the one day and it was actually really running them. And I put like 100 miles on them in one evening. And I was like, I really actually like these and they run really good for 5-volt engines and they got a good horn. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take them. I actually have some GP40 MTH fixed pilots. Thinking about converting them over to fixed pilots, weathering them, and patching them for CSX to be, that very early colorful CSX era to go with my YN1 stuff. But we'll see if that project ever comes to fruition. My project list is this long and growing. But I really dig the engines. They're just kind of cool. 4-axle engines run really well. They look decent on smaller radiuses. And you can put a handful of them together and they don't look absurd like big 6-axle diesels. But let's go ahead and dive in and take a closer look at these Chessie GP40s. So diving in a little bit closer here, as I said, these are early Proto 2 and they are the 5-volt. So they are early enough that the detail is not what you would expect on the 3-volt, later 3-volt engines or the Proto 3 engines. But again, MTH has always been known for having very good detail, even early on. So they fit in pretty well with the rest of the collection. The other reason why I really kind of was drawn to these and I was like, yeah, I need to have them. All the other Chessie that I own has the B&O or C&O reporting markings. This pair does have the Western Maryland reporting markings. And it's kind of funny that when I was a kid, I, for some reason, thought the WM stood for waste management, whatever, kids are interesting. But I really dig them. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. I've said it many times in the past. This whole O-scale hobby is going very heavy into fantasy schemes. I'm not a fan of that. But the Chessie system does give you the opportunity to have a realistic railroad that is very colorful. So you can't go wrong with that. And this one's obviously Western Maryland 5249, and it does have a non-powered GP40 that goes with it. That is Western Maryland 4261. I did find some photos of these, and they were patched for CSX. So we'll see if I ever get around to doing that. I'm not 100% sure if I really want to weather Chessie. Now, just to touch on this engine that I decided to throw in the consist with it, this is my very first Premier engine, and it was my second or third Chessie engine that I got when I was a kid, but it was the first that was, Premier and detailed and crazy, and it is this Jeep 30 B&O 6915. I've actually had this engine for a very long time. I got it when I was a young kid, and believe it or not, I actually just now, recently, in the last couple of weeks, hit 1,000 miles on it. So it's been around a long time, still kicking, still rocking and rolling. So if you're looking for an MTH Premier engine and you're okay with it being a little bit older, I would totally look into the Jeep 30s. We have several in the family collection and they just keep on working. They're just very good engines and they just keep on rocking and rolling. So I think MTH hit the nail on the head with these, and knock on wood, so far the 5-volt boards in the Jeep 30s are still kicking. But let's go ahead and get this lash up rolling around the layout.